It's the Take 12 podcast. I'm Brett. He's Lofa. Thanks for joining the show. Producer Katie sitting in and laughing as usual. Shout out to our sponsors. We are coming to you live from the Wiener Schnitzel Digital Studios. 2 locations in Western Washington. Check them out in Everett or Fife. Go on in today. Go through the drive-thru if you want. Get a chili dog. Actually, you know what? It's tamale season. It is tamale season at Wiener Schnitzel. They're not just known for hot dogs and ice cream and hamburgers and delicious chili sauce, but they're also this time of year especially known for tamales. So go on in and check them out. Also, the first annual Wieners and Toys Drive is currently happening at both Wiener Schnitzel locations. So when you go in to get the ice cream or the treats, or the root beer floats or the corn dogs, also take an unwrapped gift or 2 and donate it right there in the store. They'll have like a barrel or a box, and then we'll take all those donations and donate them to Treehouse, which is an organization up in Seattle that works with foster kids and foster families and does a lot of great things directly in the community in Western Washington up there. So help out with that, and we appreciate Wiener Schnitzel. Lofa, our Seahawks, they played on Thursday, so it was a while ago now. Thankfully, I had a more relaxing weekend. Since they had already, since their business was already dealt with, and the Niners, they came up here into town and they dealt with us, and it just. I mean, did that game even happen? It's like, it just was kind of a real wet fart or something. It just was a real, just like it was just a letdown, man. It was just like I don't know. I'm disappointed, man. I thought we'd bring a little bit more in that one. And it was just kind of some ugly football. I mean, how'd you find it? You were in the building, weren't you?
I was all over that place.
Yep.
Me, Iceman, KJ, Cam Chancellor, Brock Coyle, everybody, we were all over that place. And so were the Seahawks. They were all over the place, unfortunately. But yeah, it was, to lose that game and the division, I think that was the toughest part to deal with, knowing that like somebody else has clinched the division on your home field. That is just disturbing. But me, I always like to look at the positives because there's still a lot of ball to be played left. We still have a say in going to the playoffs. We're not out of it, and I feel like every Seahawks fan kind of feels like, oh, it's over. We're done. No, we got 3 more fucking games, man. Like, calm down. Because what? Oh, what? You want to say something?
No. I'm going to let you finish your point, and then I'll tell you from a Seahawks fan perspective why it's over.
Okay. Well, all I'm looking at is, as ugly as that game was, lost the turnover battle, only won, but the timing of it was not awesome, which led to points right before the half.
Yeah.
We'll get into the details as you like to do later. But every other team that's played San Fran over their 7-game winning streak has lost by 2 or 3 scores or more. Other than, I think, the Chargers a month and a half, like at the beginning of the streak, right? So this is a team that's going to be in the playoffs. Obviously, they clinched the division. They're going. But, we hung tough with them while we weren't playing our best ball. And that's, what I'd be saying as a coach to my players. Like, look, we helped them out in their clinching of the division. But, I mean, nobody else has even played a close game. They beat the hell out of Miami. They beat the hell out of the Cardinals. They're like 17-16 on a couple different teams. And so – I still have hope, my friend.
Yeah, but are we okay? But come on now. All right. Are you saying
there's a chance
we won for losing here? Like, my dad used to walk around and go like, you can't win for losing, and you can't win for losing here. Like, there's no moral victories in this Take 12 locker room, is there?
That is true. No moral victories, but okay. I just look back at it, and I didn't even go back and watch the film because I couldn't, right? I was, yeah, like it was ugly, right? And so, but what I take from it is, there was a lot of good that we did in there, and,
Well,
I still believe in this team.
I sent you the Dumb and Dumber gif because so you're saying there's a chance. I mean, you're right. They're not out of it, but man, they got to get it together here. I think from a fan perspective, the reason people are feeling so sort of down in the dumps is just because of the way that they've sort of been losing these games. I mean, San Francisco is a team that's really good and we thought would obviously give us a really tough game. But then you flip some channels, especially this weekend, you're watching Carolina just, like, dude, how did we not win that game? Then the Raiders, which I know the Raiders ended up beating the Patriots, and that was an insane play.
That was wild.
I should actually get your thoughts on. I mean, that was wild, but it's just another winnable game that they could have won. I mean, and then the way that it went down against the Niners, like they're scoring on broken, defensive, like just ugly football, just not football that we're used to seeing the Seahawks play, especially with Pete Carroll, and especially in a Thursday prime time at home division game. Like you said, them wrapping up the division on our home turf. And by the way, for my liking and your liking, I'm sure I know, and for Seahawk fans liking, with far too many Niner fans in the building. Seattle, what the hell is going on up there?
I mean, there was red everywhere. And you didn't know who, if you weren't watching the game, if you were walking in the halls, you literally didn't know who made a play because it was equally as loud when they made a play.
Ugh. Yeah. Gross. Listen, we're all for you guys selling your seats at epicseats.com using the promo code TAKE12, get an extra $12 per ticket. But not if it's Niner fans. Come on. How do we make sure we don't sell our tickets to the opposing fans, or just, hang on to them or give them to your buddy or something like that, like people used to do who are Seahawks fans. Maybe somebody who's got a kid who's never been to a game or something like that. Just hand them over instead of selling them. That was really disappointing on TV, especially to see the lower bowl just so full of red. Ugh. We do that to other people. Let's not let them do that to us, guys. Come on. The game, though, a little more specifically, Lofa, and I texted you this also because it's not just the Seahawks, man. Like we just talked about that Patriots game and stuff. That just ugly football in general. In the Seahawks game, Niners game, there was 3 flags on one play. And you weren't watching TV, but on TV they were like, they asked. Who was how they have the ex referee on there now for whatever
Mike Pereira?
It wasn't Mike Pereira though. It was just one of the other ones.
Blandino?
Maybe I don't know.
Was it Terry McCauley?
It might have been Terry. I'm not sure. But they said, have you ever thrown 3 individual flags on a play before? I mean, there's some ugly football. What's going on out there?
Yeah, and if a ref, usually if a guy goes out of bounds, you have to lose the hat. But if he has to throw 2 flags on one time, I think he throws the hat as like the next article of clothing. Like
they're throwing everything out there, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, you take a look around, not just in the Seahawks game in the stadium, but yeah, all these games, the Cowboys blowing a lead and letting the Jaguars come back in and win in overtime.
Totally.
What else? The Chiefs in a nail biter with a team that has 1 win, right?
Yeah.
I think.
How about the Vikings? The Vikings coming back and scoring.
Oh my God.
All he needs is 1 half.
And I'm playing him in one of my fantasy leagues, and the dude went off for 50 points, and he had 5 or 6 points with like 5 minutes left in the third quarter. I was like, I'm gonna win. And now it's coming down to tonight. But we'll talk about that later.
Well, listen, every generation goes, this new generation and this and that. And you can be the like old farts and curmudgeons and stuff. And I've heard the old guys complain about the product on the field and stuff like that. But it is kind of ugly this year. And if you look around at records and stuff, you got just like 5 and 6 teams playing 5 and 6 teams and 8 and 5 teams, the records are mediocre. The play seems mediocre.
The division that swept us, I think the best team is 500.
What's going on out there?
Because the Bucks blew a 17-0 lead. And like you're alluding to and saying, and then there was one other game. The play that we should talk about. What were you thinking when the Patriots, who came all the way back, the Raiders almost blew their 4th double-digit lead of the season, 4th or 5th. I don't know. It's up there. It's ridiculous. It's got to be some kind of record. But what were you thinking when you saw that last play?
So, okay, I was standing in my garage and I was watching kind of the scores on my phone. I was out there like doing a little thing for Christmas time. I'm doing some homemade gifts this year. That's nice. Right, everybody. A couple of homemade gifts to go along with the other one. And so I saw the score and it said like 3 seconds left or something. So I was like, okay, that one's going to overtime. And I was actually thinking, wow, a lot of these games are in overtime. I think there was 3 or 4 overtime games, right?
Yep.
So I thought, wow, a lot of these games are going to overtime. Then I check a couple seconds later, it says, oh, the Patriots or the Raiders had won. So I jumped online and watched the clip and Lofa, what in the name of football is going on out there? Like, is it coaching? Is it the kids coming in from college, or just sort of more? Is it the no pads in practice? Is it no more two-a-days? Is it the new collective bargaining agreement? Like, what is happening?
I mean, I think it could be a combination of all of it, but like 2 games in particular, I want to point out as you talk about just questionable, I'd say play calling. So let's talk about these stats. The Patriots, right, who were running the ball at will all game, decided to drop back with Mac Jones 31 times for 13 completions, no touchdowns, 112 yards. The good thing is he didn't turn the ball over, right? But Ramondre Stevenson, the running back, 19 for 172. And I mean, he got probably 25 or 30 on that last one.
Right.
Play,
yeah.
Which he lateraled, he pitched away before going into, which would have been overtime. But he's averaging 9-1. Why has he only got 19 carries? Pierre Strong averaging 6.2. Why has he only got 4 carries? Even Harris, 3.8, like 4, you celebrating 4 yards or more. That's right there. Why is he only getting 5? So that coupled with the Titans, who have Derrick Henry in a 1-score game, they're actually tied going into the 4th. And poor Ryan Tannehill is just getting killed every time he drops back.
Destroyed.
15 of 22, 165 and an interception, no touchdowns. But why is Derrick Henry only getting 21 carries? And I just don't get 5 yards a carry, 104 yards and a touchdown. The one time they did just go right down the field, I think he had 4 or 5 carries for like 50-something yards, touchdown. It's just.
Yeah. Is it analytics? Should we blame Bezos? Is it like AWS and Amazon and like these teams hiring these like stat geeks to sit up in the booth and put on a headset now and tell the head coach, we should really be throwing in because 3-1, 33% of the time I got Amazon Prime and you should throw it. What's going on?
I think there's something to that, but and like you're saying, me being an older player, old school, like back in the day, good coordinators would just run the same exact play in the same series until you stopped it more than once, because you don't have time to unless you call a timeout, you go to the sideline and you look at the video or we used to have screenshots, right? You could see like first play and then like 3 seconds into it, right?
Like a Polaroid
on paper. Yeah. It was all these books of paper. It was gross, but now they got the whole play. You can literally it's so much easier now, but I think maybe they are relying a little too much on the analytics and not the instinct that made them a great coach, So it's, but it's very confusing.
It could be a perfect storm
like that.
Yeah, well, it could be a perfect storm of a lot of things. I think you got analytics definitely playing a big part in it. What about just like social media or video clips in general? Like, don't you want to be the coordinator who came up with that crazy, awesome, whatever? And like there is, I think, something to be said for like players trying to be a little flashier or a little more highlight reel when making a play and things like that. And sometimes can lead to some, breakdown in fundamentals. And like, again, it feels weird because I don't want to be the fundamental get off my lawn old guy. And like, I know you don't either, but it is almost right there in front of our face. I feel like we're not like just making it up just to be old curmudgeons. It's like, it is just, I was flipping around, man, or I had Red Zone on really. So they're flipping around for me. It's just kind of ugly. And we, like you're saying, like weird decision-making.
I'll go to another game.
Okay.
The Bucks 17-0.
Right.
Joe Burrow comes out in the second half just on fire in that offense. But you got Tom Brady, right? And even in the week before or 2 weeks ago when they played the Rams, the offense had no rhythm, nothing. So what do they do with 3 minutes left down two scores? They go, Tom, you got it. No huddle.
Right.
Goes down, scores twice with like 40 seconds. He had time remaining after that second touchdown drive.
I know. And you were trolling me. You were texting me. You were like, I told you he's the GOAT. And
we know how this movie ends. Yeah, we've seen this before.
Not fun.
But so then, against these guys, they're sputtering again. And then finally, when they get to the fourth and they're running out of time, they go no huddle. He goes down and scores. It's like, why don't you just do that a little earlier in the game when the offense is not in rhythm and, making things happen? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If anyone has any answers for us, hit us up, seahawkspod@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on all social media at Take12Pod. Back to the Seahawks, though, since it's a Seahawks show, because, man, I mean, it just was disappointing from a lot of different areas. Run defense, again, just letting us down at inopportune times. Some blown coverage that led to the one Kittle touchdown for sure. And that's what's frustrating about it is I think kind of what you were saying is you look up and you go, well, it's just a couple plays one way or the other. But that's part of having a young team maybe, but maybe it's also part of what I was kind of alluding to with like different practice schedules now. They do things a little differently. It's a different sort of model now, maybe. Is that something to do with it? Or, I mean, did they just – because – you clean some of those things up and a couple of things go your way on offense. If Quandre catches that pick, game goes their way. It just it was a weird one, man.
That's what I was going to talk about was, the momentum, right? Shifting because we're right there. I think it's 7-3 at the time, like, all right, we're going to go down score. Like we're going to stop them here. The ball just one we've seen Quandre pick a lot, you know, I mean, the guy's amazing and it's one he wants back, but okay. So they punt. And then right after that comes the forced fumble that was taken down back to like, inside the red zone. And that was just brutal. Yeah. That they were able to get a score right before the half. And now it's, 14-3 instead of, 10-7 us going into half. But I really thought Shanahan had a good game plan, and I was surprised. He stuck with the run, which is, something I've always said. I was like, I just don't know why he puts the ball in the air, especially he's on his third quarterback, a rookie quarterback, the last pick of the draft. And but I was impressed with Purdy, but I think the situations that Shanahan put him in, made him look even better than what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. But the double screen pass. I was on the KJR with Holmgren last Friday. That was a surprise. And I go, Coach, does that look familiar? He's like, I was wondering if anybody knew, but he goes, we had that same exact play. We fake left, fake right, turn around, and that's that middle tight end up the middle. And I was like, I remember that play in practice, and then us, just running it. But it was really just, and then the 3rd and 2 to finish the game. Block scheme that we really haven't seen much out of them. They went down, 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 and it just creates the perfect angle for everybody. So someone has to be a hero and knife through the gap and really cause disruption in order to like make that play. But I mean, there's a hat for a hat. And they got like a 30-yard run on a 3rd and 2. That was ultimately the game.
Well, who's that supposed to be? Who's that hero supposed to be?
I mean, when you got 3 monsters up front and the inside, one of them's got to get penetration, in the A or B gap, the gap closest to the center and the guard, not the one on the backside that's pulling, but on the front side, And then other than that, you got to just, as a linebacker, you got to sell out, man. I'm going through the first gap I see and taking somebody with me just to make the running back stutter his feet, and somebody else can make the play. Like I might not make the play, but I'm going to cause havoc and make him stutter his feet just enough for someone to come free and make it. And just, I mean, it didn't happen.
Yeah. And that's something they're going over in the film room for sure.
Oh yeah.
So it's in your mind, they're kind of riding blocks then, and just not really
on that play in particular. It was just kind of, we're going to fit up, like I'm in my gap. It's like, no, you got to own your gap, like run through that shit.
Well, how about offensively flipping sides of the ball? Because, the Geno show, again, I mean, 31 of 44 for 238 and a touchdown. Feel like he's doing what he needs to do. I mean, just it's sort of things not happening at the right time, sort of. I mean, how does this team go from these games where, like, because, a couple broken plays and a couple more points, you know, it's sounds like
one,
like if you score more points, you win the game. But I mean, you know, it's like you can't really complain too much with 31 of 44 for 238 and a touch. Yeah. You know what I mean? So how do we
outplayed them in the second half
from these to wins? You know, it's just
we outplayed them in the second half. You know, I think again that the turnover battle, which we've always talked about, how crucial that is to a win or a loss. It was a 1-score game, and we, you know, 10? I'm looking at now, 10-7. We outscored them in the second half. So literally, like you're saying, the one play, if we don't fumble that ball, and even if we don't score, we win that game.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, that's why everyone's frustrated, right? It's because it's like it's so close. It's
right there.
It's just right there. I mean, so. You know, speaking of which, though, speaking of it being close, the playoffs are right around the corner. I mean, they got to win out, and they might even need a little bit of help. I still think if they get in, they're obviously a dangerous team if they can run the ball and Kenneth Walker's coming back and all that. But, you know,
well, that's another thing.
It's not going to be easy
with what Geno did, and this is why he belongs in the MVP race. I'm serious, and no one's taking me serious when I say this. This is the only quarterback I know, because whenever I ask somebody like who your top 5 QBs are, every single one of them has an established run game with a guy in the top 5 or 10 rushers, except for Geno. Like other than Mahomes, you know, I don't know if he has, you know, an established run game, which we'll get to that next episode, but everybody else has a run game, you know, and so what he's been doing in a season that everybody was throwing away before we started, I'm incredibly impressed with.
Yeah. Well, they outscored the Niners in the second half 10-7. And yeah, to your point, it's those early ones. I mean, can you win the game in the
first quarter?
You might not be able to win it, but you know, or lose it, but you can help yourself.
Hey, well, look
towards one of those. That's for sure.
Your boy Kirky Cousins. He didn't care about the first quarter, second quarter. All right.
That's true.
He also has an established run game with Dalvin Cook.
My boy, Kirk Cousins. I don't know. I mean, Kirk Cousins is funny to me because he's just the one that you don't really think about him first in your mind, like ever or anything like that. But you look up sometimes and you're like, what did he just do?
I know. I was watching it live too. I was like, oh my God. And soon as they got to within like 2 scores, I was like, I think they're going to do this. Like, you know, and then they got, you know, we're going to talk about your favorite people, the officials. There was 2 clear, should have been touchdowns for the Vikings, and both by the same guy, poor kid, because then he got an unsportsmanlike conduct because he lost his shit. I would have too. I like, come on, man. Like, how are you going to rob us twice?
Well, the officials are just, I mean, this season, you want to talk about football and bad football and bad product and all that. The officials are just out of control. The one in the Commanders game where the was it McLaurin or whoever it was asking, am I onside or not? They give him the thumbs up and then throw the flag on him anyway. What the hell? I mean,
and then the last play, the guy's just draped around him.
Oh,
and the ball's like still like in the air, like 5 yards away.
Well, the pass interference on both sides, offensive and defense. I was having this conversation, maybe not this weekend, but a couple weekends ago with a friend where I was saying, I think when I was a kid, pass interference was like not really called that often at all. It had to be pretty blatant.
And clothesline the guy.
Yeah, and it was because when it was called, it was like, whoa, they get the ball at the spot of the foul. Like, wow, this is going to really change the game. Now they call on both ways, offensive and defensive. I mean, hello, DK Metcalf when it comes to OPI. They call it both ways all the time, all game long. I mean, it's really, but then, like you said, they swallow their whistles if like the game's on the line because it's like, well, let's have a no call there. But the defense, the pass interference thing has gotten out of control.
Okay. And one more gripe about the officials.
Sure.
What about the Patriots game? The guy's foot is clearly the game-winning touchdown or game tying, clearly out of bounds. It was the grainiest fucking film I've ever seen in my life. Like it was shot with the original iPhone. I was like, what? Yeah, not even iPhone. It was like the Nextel 90i.
Yeah.
You remember when they finally came out with the camera? You know, the chirp chirp. Yeah. And that's the best angle we have with all the cameras that are in there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. But okay. But at the same time, just because I have to be on record as saying this, because at the same time, I watched some World Cup and they've got the computer assisted offsides and all that, and they can measure it down to like the inch, whether the person was the timing of offsides, because it's all about when the ball was kicked and everything. But they're like, I mean, they're showing their computer thing. They got the guy offsides by like an elbow hair, And so it's this thing where it's like, are you getting it exactly perfectly correct? Maybe, but down to a half inch. Are we? Because football, if they can do it in soccer, I'm thinking they could probably get it there eventually with, again, here comes Bezos and Amazon and all the technology and all the stuff. But like, then it sort of takes away a little bit also, because then it's sort of like almost too perfect sometimes, where it sort of takes the fun out of it a little bit. So I don't know what the answer is ultimately for all that stuff, because you would think, like you said, even with video, you can see the guy's foot. You'd think he'd get it right, and you still don't get it right. So I don't know. Outrageous, man. Outrageous. Did anyone win the score prediction? Do we know? Producer Katie didn't look. All right. Forget it. Who cares? I'm just kidding. Score prediction challenge, everybody, brought to you by Simply Seattle, our friends. Go to shop.simplyseattle.com. Use promo code TAKE12 for 12% off. And you guys can predict the score of the upcoming game with the Chiefs, but we'll talk about that on the next episode. Anything else before we get out of here on this one?
No, I think we can leave this one in the rear view.
Like the last few games, man. Let's get on to the next one. But the next one is the Chiefs, and it's on the road. So it's going to be a toughie. They had a tough time with the Texans, though. So,
yeah. I mean, the Cowboys had a tough one with the Texans, too. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they let their guard down this week.
Well, sometimes the most fun thing about the league is that you can't predict it at all. So we'll have to see what happens. They got to run the table, though. It's going to be a rough road.
I mean, let's not look ahead, but if you want to, I mean, the Jets, they're a good team, but they're banged up. The Lions just went into their house and took it over. Lions are playing good, but their quarterback situation, that guy's got like a fractured rib. So who knows when he's going to be cleared to play. We might be seeing Zach Wilson, which, I mean, I watched him. He looked okay. Like that last drive, he looked good. But other than that, it was very erratic.
Yeah.
And then you get a home date with the Rams to finish it off. So I'm still optimistic, Brett.
I like it. I like the positive outlook. Shout out to our sponsors, Heritage Distilling, helping your positive outlook every day.
Well done, sir.
Whether you enjoy the ready to enjoy craft cocktails in a can, or you throw a little Cocoa Bomb whiskey at the bottom of your coffee, it's all good. Check out Heritage Distilling Company. And then also Wiener Schnitzel, 2 locations, Everett and Fife. Take in an unwrapped toy or 2 or 3 or 4 to any of their locations today and donate those. And then we'll donate those to Treehouse. It's the first annual Wieners and Toys at Wiener Schnitzel locations. And then if you mention Take 12, you can get a free beverage with any other order while you're at Wiener Schnitzel. And you can grab a root beer float or a corn dog or whatever else. Any other shout outs?
Shout out to Dom Wiener Schnitzel.
Absolutely.
Who will be dropping the toys off with me sometime this week. I got to get with him on that. What was the other one? Oh yeah, Seattle Cozy Connections. They had a fundraiser on Friday. It was a great time at Mill Creek Cove. A lot of people showed up and showed out. A lot of support. I think they raised like $6 or $7 grand that night.
Wow.
And they do a lot in the community. They have another gala or a party coming up on Friday where Martial Law Band, I think, is going to be throwing down.
Oh, nice.
So
friends of the show.
Yeah. So just a lot of great things happening for the holidays.
All right. Cool. Producer Katie, you got anything?
Nope.
All right, good. All right, hands in the middle, everybody. Come on now, let's break it down. Lofa, big matchup with the Chiefs coming up. What are we doing?
I'm just going with good vibes, like you said. There's no reason to panic. Don't panic. Just good vibes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good vibes.
Yeah.